Let's talk about Dolphin Cove Limited today. If it's your first time joining me, please feel free to subscribe and share this video and like also. No, from in recent times I've been doing few videos on tourist companies in Jamaica that's listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Previously I did Margaritaville, and I'll be doing a few more down the road, CPJ and some other companies that have operations centered around the tourist industry in Jamaica. So the last time now, so today's video now, I'll be talking about Dolphin Cove, their financial performance, and talk about their relative valuation and their dividends, all of those things. Now, Dolphin Cove is a company that offers tourist attractions in Jamaica, and they offer tourist programs, and they if you know Dolphin Cove in Otrius, they have one in Negril, they have Yaman Adventure. Then they also have other companies. I think they have few companies in Cayman. Yes, but those are the main thing. They offer tourist attractions and programs. The company basically was incorporated in 1998, and it's owned by Royal Dolphins. I think Royal Dolphin. That's a company name. But I'm gonna look at the shareholder. So if I'm wrong here, we'll see that. And that company is also owned by another company that's domiciled in Mexico. So yeah, you will find that in the annual report. So now, in terms of financial performance, I'm gonna share my screen a bit just to look into those numbers. So Dolphin Cove, before I go into the numbers, the company last time I screenshot this was like Friday. The company was trading for like $16.39, and I can see in the chart right here in between 29 late 2019 there was a fall, but the company share price fell further during the pandemic, during those 2 years where there was a lot of lockdown and restricted movements. So the tourist industry overall got a lot of beating during those times. But the company also has started to recover back in 2022 to 2023. So now when I look at their price market cap, there is a $6.4 billion company. They have a price to earnings ratio of 10.33, which is not bad, which is very good. Their dividends, they have a dividend yield of 5%, which is good also. And if you look at the frequency of the dividend payment, they are a company that tend to pay dividends. So they pay dividend 2 times this year, 2 times last year. And prior to the pandemic, they used to pay dividends. And I think they had paused during the pandemic, but they started back last year. And one of those companies that pays out dividends. So at a 5% dividend yield, it's one of the better dividend companies. But back to the statement. When you look at their revenues for the last 6 months at 4.9 million US, coming from 3.4 million US, that's a 42% increase. 42% increase in revenue. Their profit after tax was 2.7. That's already almost close to their last year audited financial report. So they're pretty close to their full year profits already. So I suspect, and I think this will be a record breaking year for them. But We'll see. I will follow up when they release their next quarterly earnings, and we'll see about that. Now, when it comes to their asset, this company pretty much pretty much doesn't have any long-term debt. They have a deferred tax liability of 1.1 million and lease liabilities of 300,000 US. That's 1.4. And that overall their assets total, their total non-current asset is 26 million, which is way higher than their non-current liability. So pretty much they have no long-term debt. You could call it that way. They're in short term, no, they have cash of 1 million at the moment, investments of 1. But we can see where they have increased their investment year over year from 18,000 to 1 million. So I don't know what those investments really include. I see where their cash has declined from 3.1 to 1 million. But I also bear in mind that in June last year, at that time, the company was they wasn't really operating as much as now. Because the lockdowns, I think the lockdowns ended in like February or January. So the company might, as I can see in the trade and other receivables, that has increased. They might have increased spending just to prepare for the incoming tourist traffic. And we can see where also their due from related companies that has increased and parent company. So in terms of cash company, I'll be looking into the ratios more, but it seems pretty fine to me based on what I'm seeing. I'm gonna look at the ratios exactly. And the current liability is 3 million and they have a current asset of 8 million. Not bad. That's pretty good. No, when it comes to their cash flow seem okay to me also. Their net cash provided by operating activities was 2.1 million US. So that's pretty good. That there was a slight decrease, but we'll see how that plays out in the rest of the year. And also investment, net cash provided used by investment also increased substantially. Well, minimally, because from 537 to 786, that's a slight increase. No, when it comes to their long-term performance, the company pretty much made profits last year of 3 million US, and I think that's not bad, but I expect them to improve this year. So we'll see, and that will play out in the projections. I'll watch the next quarterly earnings. But it's a company that I'm currently neutral on at the moment. So I'm going to look at this website. Invest in Jamaica. Investing.com. So in terms of their financials, I will give the general overview. Their financials, the ratios. Let me see the ratios. Price to earnings of 10.65, which is that's pretty almost close to the market ratio. So I think on that aspect they're pretty, if you're looking at PE alone, it's pretty close to being fairly valued, but PE's ratio is just one of the metrics you use to evaluate a company. And there are plenty more things you have to look when you're evaluating a company. Yeah, sorry about that. No, the price to free cash flow is 10, which is good. Price to book 1.37, and price to sales 2.33, not bad also. So, and when it comes to the tourist industry, it's one industry in Jamaica that once it's a good company, you cannot lose. Unless there's a disaster or a pandemic, something like that, you will. But tourist industries, the number one industry in Jamaica. You cannot lose. But you still have to be mindful of your buying opportunities and investment choices. Because you know, there's a thing called opportunity cost. If you can find something better elsewhere, you choose that. Now, return on equity 13%, return on asset 11%, not bad. What I saying, the quick ratio 1.28, good for, it's pretty much in line with the industry. Current ratio at 2.38. Yeah, it's pretty much a solid company. Dividend yield right here 4.8, which is pretty much close to 5 as the Jamaica Stock Exchange website has. And there's a payout ratio of 52%. I think this is one of the best dividend companies to watch for 2024. And I'll definitely put it on my list for that in terms of dividends company. But yeah, it's pretty much a good company overall. The financial summary, look at the financial the income statement. So all right, so pretty much last year they made a profit of 2.9 million US, coming up from 1.5 in 2021, which is not bad. Revenues of overall revenue of 15 million US, coming from 7.6, and I expect it to increase. Maybe not gonna give a number, but I expect at least a 30% increase in revenue, but we shall see. And so pretty much Dolphin Cove. One more thing I think I should look on is their trading on they're trading in the queue. Now looking at the queue for Dolphin Cove, I can see where pretty much there's just 9 buying orders and their selling orders is pretty much right now where I can see where you have up to 30 selling orders, up to 10,000 for one. I don't know how they're gonna work that one out, but when it comes to the queue, I see they have, when it comes to the queue, I see where you have up to 30, so the selling side is looking a bit stronger. I see a lot of 17, but it's overall the selling queue is not really that strong. I see a big order for 120,000 at 20 at a person want to sell at 120,000 units at $26. So I don't, maybe they're expecting the price to reach 26, and that's the biggest player I've seen in the queue so far. Outside the one that has one for the 10,000, I don't know what that one is about, but let's see. One more thing I should have mentioned about for Dolphin Cove was their shareholders. Now, when it comes to their shareholders, Dolphin Cove pretty much has over 90% of its shares are owned by a few investors. So Royal of Dolphins own 79%. Garden House Holdings own 9.5%, and JCST Trustee Services own 1.9%. And we can see we have a few other small investors. So what that tells us is that this is pretty much not one of the most liquid stocks, and it's one of the most tightly held stocks. So if you look, retail investors really have less than 10% of the stocks. So that could be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. It all depends how you look at the picture. So being that Dolphin Cove is a good company could be a very good thing if you know that it's not going to be very volatile. So I don't think Dolphin Cove is a very volatile company based off of this and the previous trading outside pandemic years. But as I can see, with few investors like this, you know that once a company is performing good, the company is not going to be one of those volatile companies that you can expect to fall significantly unless there's some bad news or some really bad developments. So this is something you can bear in mind. I think this is actually a good thing. Let me know your thoughts and comments on which companies. I'll say I'm looking into tourist companies, but you can let me know which other companies. I'll be looking into a few more of the tourism companies, but you can let me know any other company you want me to review. Thanks for tuning in. Share, like, and subscribe. I'm out.